Hey guys, Cheshire here. Today is September 15th, 2022. You know I did not grow up political. I grew up believing in America. My dad served in Vietnam. So I knew the value of freedom. I listened to my dad talk about it, all the good and the bad. I was raised a good person with good values. I came from a loving home, not a perfect one, but I knew I was loved. I didn't grow up with everything I wanted, but I did grow up knowing if you want something you have to earn it. Life is not a box of chocolates, like can be good or bad but hardly ever sweet. We have to make decisions that hurt and bury our loved ones. I got political when I seen numbers disappear and being added to another politician on TV. When they shut it all down and came back up. I saw it all. I do not need to be told I seen it. And on my way to find out what I saw and why, I went down rabbit holes and one of them led to my own awakening. I would tell you the year, but that is not important. The facts I am going to share is my own. The sad part is I am just one of many. My story is not the only one, but many get ignored or told to shush about it, cause if it is revealed as real, many important people will lose their livelihood or their stature. Here is my story. When I was 16 years old, I ran away from home. It was a dumb thing to do. But I was rebellious. And as most of you parents out there know, most teenagers think they know everything and do not have a clue. I disappeared for a whole weekend, staying with friends, partying, thinking I was cool. Then one night it all changed. I got dropped off in a huge city. About 20 miles from where my aunt lived. I was trying to get to her house to ask if I could stay there. Somehow I got turned around looking for the bus station. The reason I ran away is because of lack of employment. We had to move. I had to leave my friends and most of my family. I do not deal well with change. Being dumb and not knowing that if I applied myself I still had opportunities, I had plans for college, going to prom, graduating with my friends. All of it was gone. Remember, I am a teenager here. The drama, well, I got in a wrong neighborhood, and make a long story short, I was raped. Afterwards a guy comes in and says, "Is she ready?" And the one who raped me said, "No, she is not." He saved my life that day. Well, cops showed up. Someone tipped them that the abandoned house I was in was occupied. They frisked me down naked as if what happened to me was not bad enough. Then the female officer gets me in her squad car and says, "Are things so bad you have to sleep with a beep?" Racism from a white officer. Then I get put in a room with a toilet and sink. They call my parents. When I get to the police station to tell them what happened, the detective that took my statement was an African American officer. She said he never did it before and refused to charge him with rape, only breaking and entering. The man who raped me was African American, but that is not what is important here. And no, I am not white nor African American. She said, "Well, you know, if you didn't wear your pants so tight and look the way you do, it would not have happened." Not only did I feel violated by the perp, but by the system and by both sides of racism. To this day I have anxieties and do not show my face online nor get close to people. Remember me saying the man coming and asking if I was ready, that has always been on my mind. Why he asked that? Now I know. Through research I found out how they get these young girls into trafficking. If it was not for the man who raped me, I would have been one of those girls. I fit the profile. I was young, I already did the easy part for them. I was vulnerable, desperate and naive. For you parents, this is something I think would be good to share with your teenagers. I decided to come out and tell my story cause there are people who pretend sex trafficking does not exist, that it is all a conspiracy thing. I assure you it is not. It's real. Back then it was no online marketing, it was word of mouth and mostly passing around people. Now thanks to platforms like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and other platforms, it is easy to do it. Any platform that sells things can be used. People are products now. No longer are we seen as humans. Not only by trafficking, but big corporations, government and drug companies look at us that way too. Let me get to the point. So much information that needs to be addressed. Now my question is, we have these platforms saying they do not know where data is going and collecting. So how much of our data is being sold to these sex traffickers and sifted through to find pictures of our children and young people? Do you realize we have grandparents and mothers and some fathers? But let's face it, they really market toward females, the ads and such, that put their personal information up with their real names, where they are, where they grew up, what schools they went to, or better yet how many teenagers have. Then they post pictures of their children, grandchildren and themselves. Thinking they are safe. Thinking that these platforms are going to protect your interests. This should make everyone stop and think what the heck they are doing. These people take your child's or young person's pictures and pass them around like baseball cards. They do all kinds of sick things and even go a step further and try to kidnap them. For years I warned people about this, my friends, but they still putting pictures up. Our politicians and media want to pretend it is not happening. We just had a huge trial, Ghislaine Maxwell and the whole island thing. There is a list, they know who went there. We know who the victims are, they made sure we did, but notice we do not see who victimized them. There is no sale without a buyer. But shush, we supposed to not look at that. Notice during that trial more people talked about a grown woman pooping in the bed than what was happening to these young ladies. Look at Ketanji Brown Jackson, her nomination hearing. They talked about child porn being passed online. Do you remember that? Nope, instead you remember the BS about not knowing what a woman is. Meanwhile, starting a whole controversy took your eyes and ears from the important thing. Right now we have a president whose son has done things like buying prostitutes and not to mention perversion to the highest. But we also have a president whose daughter's diary says she took showers with her grown father at 11 years old allegedly. Not once has he denied it. How many presidents went to that island? How many actors and actresses, judges, politicians, state attorneys, business CEOs, and world leaders? This is the real crime. All the rest of the crap is noise. Notice how this came out: Hunter laptop and the diary. What happened? The media flipped it to Russia-Ukraine war and now it's Trump. Just mentioning Trump's name can be used as a distraction. What do they not want you to see? What are they passing? The crisis is an illusion, so you do not see what is in the magician's hand. The leaders, the media protects the platforms and our nativity. And lack of paying attention is giving them easy access to use our information. Our lack of not communicating to our children, trying to be their friend when they need a parent, and paying attention to all the phones is causing rifts in families. If you're not communicating with your children, believe me, there are some just waiting for the opportunity of your guard being down. It's about exposing the true crime, the true pandemic. Sex trafficking. Our children need to be protected. And maybe, just maybe, somebody reading my story can save their lives. Stay tuned to more insights. If you like this content, please like and share. Till the next one, good day.